What's good, y'all, and welcome back to Go Reality once again. It's your favorite host here in the flesh and blood living. And I'm saying that because many of y'all been asking me, yo man, where you been at? Are you safe? Are you okay? Are you alive? But I'm here chilling, guys. Ain't nothing but it happen to me. Nothing will happen to me. But just that life shit gets in the way of my stuff sometimes, you know. But we good, we chilling. I'm back. So get used to seeing my face around here more often, you heard? But for this video topic, I actually want to talk about a very interesting cartel member. In fact, one of the most interesting ones out there ever, in my opinion. Going by the name of El Sargento Phoenix. But he had a senior ranking role in Los Antrax. Los Antrax were actually part of the Sinaloa cartel, basically made out of entirely professionally trained hitmen. And they were just created to take care of the extra work and protect the other higher ranking members. So, you know, a bunch of just brutal, heartless savages. But what really made El Sargento Phoenix stand out was that he really idolized Osama bin Laden. Like, I mean, completely idolized him. From the hair, to the beard, to the clothing he wore. His fucking whole demeanor was like Osama bin Laden. Now, I don't really know what made him idolize him so much, but I find it really interesting. So I just had to make a video about it real quick. But he was just different. But, you know, without further ado, you know how I do. I don't like wasting my time. I don't like wasting your people's time. So let's get it. René Velasquez Valenzuela was known by his nicknames El Sargento Phoenix, El Taliban, and El Gato Negro. His nickname El Taliban was given to him for his appearance and violent personality, likely in allusion to the Taliban. Now, if y'all don't really know about the Taliban, they're like some other fucked up criminal group. In my opinion, not as fucked up as the cartels, but they're up there too. He was known in the criminal underworld for the way that he executed his victims and for his long beard. I know y'all seen videos about cartel executions. Now, if you're known for killing people the way you do in the cartel underworld where a bunch of motherfuckers already cut up all the motherfuckers and slice them up and take their heads off, man, y'all seen those videos. He was known for being violent towards the people that he executed. So that by itself is saying so much about his brutality and shit. Like, just imagine what kind of shit he did to his victim, that he was known for that. Somewhere where that's happening all around. There's a bunch of crazy motherfuckers, but to be known as the craziest motherfucker, that's saying something. So keep that in mind. In several pictures, Velasquez wore a turban and posed next to a portrait of Osama bin Laden. I don't really get what was his allusion towards Osama bin Laden. I mean, I guess, you know, they were both crazy motherfuckers, but it's just weird that a dude from Mexico idolized Osama bin Laden that much. His behavior and lifestyle were publicized through online pictures and through narco corridos, which are those musical bands down in Mexico that be just playing songs about the cartel members and the whole cartel lifestyle and shit like that. Several singers and music groups wrote songs about him detailing his personal life. The songs described Velasquez as a violent person adept in using multiple types of weapons. He was also described as someone who preferred black clothing, shaving his head, and having a long beard. But he wasn't always involved in organized crime. He originally started as a truck driver in Sinaloa. Imagine that, man. I know we all see truck drivers every day in the highway, whatever. But that's how he started, just a regular ass truck driver. Then some way got recruited into the fucking cartel lifestyle. But in my opinion, he was already building up some type of street cred and building up his reputation. But then sometime in 2008, however, he joined a hitman squad known as Los Antrax. I already know, a bunch of y'all already know about Los Antrax and who they were. But for the ones that don't, listen up real quick. First, it was the Sinaloa cartel. Los Antrax was like a militarized wing of the Sinaloa cartel, and their whole responsibility was just fighting off other cartel rival gangsters, securing drug shipments, and just taking care of the other higher ranking members, especially El Mayo Zambada. He's just one of the most elusive, powerful, low-key motherfuckers out there, never been in jail. There's probably like about 3 or 4 pictures of him. Blurry ass pictures, old pictures. You know, man, the dude knows how to get away low key. But Los Antrax were a professional assassin squad. Like, there's tons of videos of them in the jungles of Mexico in full gear doing full on trainings. You know, like motherfuckers carrying logs and shit and jumping over puddles and all that. Like, they were the real deal. You know, target practice, all that. Velasquez gained the trust of his superiors due to his successes at leading Los Antrax during offensive operations and for his violent methods and tactical strategies in the field. They will fight off rivals such as the Beltran Leyva cartel and Los Zetas, with Los Zetas being their biggest rivals. But he didn't always look the way that he did. But then he was given the high-ranking duty of protecting Ismael Zambada Imperial nicknamed El Mallito Gordo, Ismael Zambada Sicarios, nicknamed El Mallito Flaco, and Vicente Zambada Niebla, nicknamed El Vicentillo, which were 3 of El Mayo's children. So very important dudes that El Taliban was given to protect specifically. But it was after he joined Los Antrax that he shaved his head and grew his beard to show loyalty to El Vicentillo, his former boss and friend. El Mallito Gordo was the one who originally contacted Velasquez to join Los Antrax. Now, as a high-ranking member, he reported directly to Archiga Gamboa and Eliseo Imperial Castro, nicknamed El Cheyo Antrax. So this dude moved up the ranks pretty fucking quick, cause just after a year of joining Los Antrax, he was already given the task of personally taking care of and looking after the sons of one of the biggest drug lords out there. Shortly after joining Los Antrax, Velasquez was involved in a shootout with the Mexican army in Culiacan that resulted in his arrest. According to law enforcement reports from February 25th, 2008, Velasquez opened fire at an army unit, which triggered a shootout between his men and the army in Miguel Hidalgo Street. The army responded to the aggression by shooting at the vehicle's tires and forcing Velasquez's vehicle to stop. He was arrested along with his brother Jose Fidel Velasquez Valenzuela, Francisco Angulo Estrada, and Marco Antonio Lopez Amendares. When the army proceeded to apprehend him, he was in possession of multiple firearms, including an AK-47 on his lap, 40mm grenade, and several pistols. His accomplices had other weapons in their possession, and the trunk of the vehicle had additional firearms and ammunition. Investigators also discovered 17 grams of marijuana in his vehicle. Velasquez's post-arrest medical examination confirmed that he was addicted to marijuana. Now, I find this funny because how the fuck can you be addicted to marijuana? Maybe he was high at the time he got arrested, which is most likely what happened, but they got it all wrong. I don't know how the fuck someone gets addicted to marijuana. You can't get addicted to weed, first of all. I smoke that shit every day, man. I'm not a junkie. Velasquez told law enforcement that the weapons were owned by Octavio Villarreal, nicknamed El Salchi, which was a friend of his, and that he offered to take care of the weapons for him. But word on the street was that there was a reason why Velasquez shot at the army unit first. The thing is that he was with his superior, El Chino Antrax, and El Chino Antrax is very known in the cartel scene. The dude was known on social media, Instagram, just flexing his lifestyle, always blurred his face out, wore like a skull ring, and he was just living his life, whatever. But he got caught up eventually too when the cops got him somewhere like in Netherlands in the airport. They say that he shot at the army to allow Chino Antrax to escape the scene, but then he reportedly turned himself in by walking towards the officers with a grenade in his hand. Now, if that's true, which is probably most likely true, because no cartel member, high-ranking member is about to just let no fucking army just pull up on them in a vehicle. Especially if they have men with them, they pretty much always go out dying or with a fight. He was in prison at the Penal de Aguaruto, a low-security prison in Aguaruto, Culiacan, and held under federal charges. In trial, he was found guilty on April 26, 2011, of illegal possession of firearms, cartridges, and grenades, illegal possession of military exclusive weapons, and drug possession. He was originally sentenced to 8 years, 10 months, and 3 days, but his defense appealed the decision, but he was able to reduce the term to 6 years and 10 months. But while in prison, however, Velasquez reportedly held a leadership among the inmates and supposedly controlled Module 5, which is one of the prison sectors that held the Sinaloa cartel affiliated criminals wanted for organized crime and trafficking. He was very well in prison, but he was very well taken care of. He enjoyed several luxuries as an inmate, but he had access to social media and uploaded photos of his lifestyle behind bars. But in one of the photos that he uploaded, Velasquez was seen walking along the prison yard surrounded by an entourage of his inmates. This motherfucker was fucking doing good and balling in prison, in Mexico prison. In other pictures, he was smoking weed, playing with a raccoon pet, and enjoying visits from his friends like Roque Landeros, nicknamed Roque Antrax, which was another suspected assassin of Los Antrax. Velasquez remained in prison until August 22, 2014. 2 years later, after getting released, on October 30th, 2016, Velasquez was killed in a clash with the Mexican army in Las Quintas neighborhood in Culiacan. It occurred on Miguel Hidalgo Street on the intersection of Esteban Flores and Alejandro Quijano Street. According to law enforcement reports, the army was initially heading to San Alona, a town in Culiacan, after receiving a report of armed men in the area. While they were heading there, The army overheard gunshots near the 9th military zone in Culiacan and rerouted their efforts back to the city. Approximately 70 soldiers and at least 15 vehicles headed to the scene. 2 tanks later arrived when called as reinforcements. That tells you a lot, man. The fucking Mexican army was 70 deep just for this small report saying that there was men in the area with weapons. They knew what they were getting themselves into. They know it's not just a group of just random men, with guns. It's cartel activity. But that's how they roll up on cartel activity. They don't play around, man. They come heads deep. 2 tanks even, look at that. After arriving at Las Quintas, the army discovered that several leaders of Los Antrax, including Velasquez, were at a home gathering. When they noticed law enforcement's presence, several members of Los Antrax attempted to flee the scene in their vehicles. Others tried to escape by running across the rooftops and yards of the neighborhood's houses. And this caused panic among several neighbors when they overheard the gunshots. Velasquez and other gunmen decided to stay back and engage in a gunfight with the army. Now, this motherfucker chose to stand back and hold his ground. He must have known that he was not gonna make it. Any cartel leader, boss, whatever it may be, and look it up, they never survived once they get in a clash with the military head on. But he was probably coked up, fucked up on something, like he was just like, fuck it, this is how I'm living, this is how I'm gonna die too. Live by a gun, die by a gun. The army was able to neutralize the situation and kill 3 suspected leaders of Los Antrax. His corpse was found covered in gunshot wounds inside a red armored Toyota Tacoma. He was quickly identified by security forces due to his particular physical characteristics, his beard and shaved head. Intelligence reports indicated that Los Antrax was in Las Quintas to provide security to El Mayito Flaco, the last of El Mayo's children that remained a fugitive. Authorities suspect that Velasquez and others decided to attack the army to allow El Mayito Flaco to escape. However, Los Antrax suffered 3 casualties, 3 injuries, and 6 arrests. But that probably is what happened. These guys will give up their life and freedom to allow their high-ranking leaders to escape the scene. The authorities confirmed that Velasquez was the group's second in command, but he was an acting head of the assassin operations. There you have it, man. A crazy motherfucker that just died the way that he lived. Violent, crazy, and on the edge. Most of these cartel leaders have like big-ass, extravagant funerals and wakes and big parties, but actually for Velasquez, it was very, very low-key. No one really knew about it. Not too many people attended except for his close friends and family members. His coffin was adorned with floral arrangements containing red roses. The flowers had several notes attached to them, including one from Velasquez's wife and daughter, but another one from Rafael Guadalupe Feliz Núñez, nicknamed El Changuito Antrax, a suspected member of Los Antrax. Velasquez was later buried at a local cemetery that same day. Several residents from El Salado claimed to have met Velasquez, but denied giving out any details of his personal life. One said, "He rarely visited, but when he did, he was very kind.